So you did all the right things. You read all of the books, you made all the eye contact, you asked really thoughtful questions, you've done all your prep, but you still find yourself having those conversations or presentations, you know, those ones that really seem to count, where you walk away feeling you kind of missed the mark. That sinking feeling of just not showing up as you know you really can. You've done all the right stuff, so why does it feel like you're just not connecting at the level you know is possible? What if I told you that the secret to landing with real authority has almost nothing to do with the words and the prep that you choose? What if the most powerful communication tool you have isn't in your spoken language, but is all about your physical presence? In this video, I'm sharing a really simple technique I developed for changing your internal state and level of presence. And when you can change these, you can change the outcome of every single conversation and presentation. Now stick around, because this isn't just stand up straight or act confident, but it's a doable process for everybody. I had the good fortune to start out in a physical performance career, which was a training that taught me a lot about the power of the body and presence in communication and impact. And while we can easily make up a story about that it's acting or performance, so it's not authentic or real, all pros know that if you're not really embodying a character, a way of being fully, then it just rarely carries over impactfully to any audience. There were many times performing or even running a high-stakes career, but earlier on in my career it could still happen sometimes, and I can find myself, or I would find myself, getting stuck up in my head in a bunch of stories, or just trying to run over my lines and memorize more when I know I've done all the prep. If I just listen to the voices or the fears, then I know that does very little to actually really help. I'd feel all the familiar tightening in my chest and that old critical voice in my head and the sort of rushing noise in the ears, and feeling the energy and the confidence just dissipating and the engagement draining away. Despite doing and saying all the things I'd prepared, my presence, my embodiment would be saying something really different. I clearly hadn't done all my prep. So here's where this shift comes, because when I've experienced these seeming fails, I've always felt very grateful for the incredible learning I had about physicality and presence in my first career, because that's where I turned. While I've studied areas since then, such as performance psychology and neuroscience and embodiment theory, the practices I always return to are more about how, say, performers or actors, and maybe some athletes prepare. You know, the kind of people who know how to engage the body to project presence, confidence, but also to perform in the authentic way well. And they all bring me back to some simple core principles of being grounded, centered, and just fully present. Certainly as a physical performer, I knew that great communication isn't something I merely do with my mouth or my words. It is all about a full body experience. Therefore, any lack of impact won't be about my word choice generally, but it will be if my physical presence is screaming, "I'm not fully here." It's not an issue of saying or doing. This is one of being. So the solution is less about more rehearsal than it is about how can I embody my full self right now? And that's what led to this short little technique that I call the grounding, centering, anchor, or sometimes just simply presencing. So here's how you can do it. And of course, it's not about pretending or acting or being someone or striking a power pose. It's just a simple, quiet internal shift. And you can do it anywhere in seconds, and nobody's even going to know you're doing it. It leverages this famous mind-body connection to help elevate the internal state in just 3 simple, easy steps. Now, step 1 is grounding. So right, wherever you are, just bring all of your attention down to the bottom of your body, to the soles of the feet, maybe the place where you're sitting. And seriously, this is what it is. Feel the floor or chair underneath you. Wiggle your toes in your shoes or something. Move on the chair. Notice the pressure of the contact. Feel how solid and unmoving the ground is beneath you. Now, this simple action instantly yanks your brain out of its anxious, chattering thought mode and drops you right into your physical body in this present moment. And that mode is recognizing that stability. And more importantly, your internal intelligence now also knows that you're on something solid, that you're safe and supported. You're grounded. Now, step 2 is from there, feel your center and balance. So without forcing it, notice how your body arranges itself optimally in a way that finds its own center and balance in relationship, of course, to that place of ground. If that wasn't the case, you'd just fall over. So in that, feel the sense of length and space in your spine. Let your shoulders just relax. Maybe drop back a little bit and sense the chest opening. This allows you to breathe differently. And this isn't about being rigid and still. It's actually about allowing your intelligent body to open up and find its own grounded, centered way of being. It's a natural state. This open, balanced posture sends a signal to your brain that you are safe and confident, not under threat. It helps you breathe deeper and makes you look more present to everyone else. Now, step 3 is breathing into your whole. It's the last step, and feel the whole of you now on just grounded and centered as a whole kind of sense of your awareness. Noticing the breathing body, nice and slow, instead of that usual shallow breath in your chest we get as the stress comes in. Now, for a moment, just feel a breath go deep down into your lower belly. Maybe even place a hand on your lower belly just below the belly button. This is a place some martial arts call the hara. And it's a place of really great energy and center and balance. And then just allow a slower, controlled exhalation. And this form of diaphragmatic breathing is one of the fastest ways you can have to hit the brakes on your stress responses, and is a physiological reset button that calms your mind, slows your heart rate, and allows the executive functioning to come back online. More on that in a minute. Ground, center, breathe. That's it. Now you've presenced yourself. You can actually do this before walking into a meeting or a presentation at your desk, or as you can tell, even in the middle of a conversation or a meeting when you feel yourself getting a little rattled. It's your silent, invisible little hack. So why does something so simple work so well? It's because your brain and your body are interconnected on a constant feedback loop through an internal superhighway called the polyvagal nerve. We tend to think of our brain as the boss telling our body what to do, but your body is constantly in intercommunication with your brain about how you're doing and how to function best. It's a two-way relationship, not merely top-down. And when your body is physically grounded, your spine is long, your breath is deep, you're sending a powerful upstream message to your brain that says, hey, we're safe, we're stable, we got this. This physical signal actually helps dial down the production of stress hormones like cortisol. And when your stress levels drop, your rational thinking part of your brain, that executive functioning, and the prefrontal cortex comes back online. All of a sudden you have more clarity, you can think straighter, listen better, and find the right words far more easily. But here's the real magic. This internal shift also changes your body language. You're not trying to look confident anymore, you just are. Your posture naturally opens up, your voice has more resonance, and all of you signals more authority. Your gestures feel more natural. People don't see someone faking confidence. They see someone who's genuinely centered, authentic, and trustworthy. So what might this look like in real life? Now, just say, think about a typical meeting. The before, say, is a scene that we all know. It's getting around the room to your turn to present. Maybe it's presenting to the board. And you feel the increasing anxiety coming up. Your internal dialogue is kicking off. Your voice is, as you start, your voice is getting a little tighter and maybe a little higher in register. You start peppering your sentences with ums and ahs, shuffling the notes, and everything seems to speed up and just get a little scrambled, and you stutter through. Now, picture an after doing something like this practice, say before the meeting, or even just as it's going around and before you're getting to your turn to talk, you run through the anchor. You feel your feet, you lengthen your spine, you just take that deep belly breath. As you get up to speak, you also make sure you stand, take your stance. You're not trying to change anyone else through all of this. You're just changing your own state, which will be registered. And then as you begin to speak, you feel solid. You feel the ground under you. Your voice is more steady and clear, not rushed. You deliver your ideas with authority. People will tend more to lean in. They'll look, they'll listen. Your whole manner actually commands attention. That embodied presence is what changes how everyone will respond to you. Also, by the way, if this shift from what you say to how you are, that type of thing is clicking for you, then do me a favor and click that subscribe button here. Really helps us. Now look, knowing this stuff is one thing, but actually feeling it and acting it is what makes the difference. Might even say being it. You can't think your way into this type of work. You have to be engaged in ongoing practices to develop it. So here's my challenge to you. For the next 24 hours, practice the grounding, centering, anchor in situations with zero pressure when you think of it. You're stopped at a red light, have a go. We're waiting in line for something, for coffee, go and do it. Sitting on a subway, feet, spine, breathe. Just notice how it feels, that little shift in your body and in your state. And then maybe try it once before or maybe in the middle of a real more higher stakes situation, a conversation perhaps, phone call, chat with your boss. Take 5 seconds just to anchor yourself before you actually start or when you know your turn is coming up. After you've tried this, if you're willing, come back here and drop a comment below because I really would love to hear how it's actually going for you. You know, for way too long, we've been taught to focus on things like outside skills of communication, workshops that help develop the right words to prepare your speeches, to have firm handshakes, eye contact, all of this kind of stuff. Take on power poses and play the part. But hopefully you can now see that the real secret to powerful communication is not external. It's not about memorizing more. It's internal. It's about learning to show up as the most grounded, centered, and authentic and confident version of yourself. This only comes from learning how to fully inhabit your own body with confidence, awareness, and authenticity. The way you are being is so much more powerful than anything you are doing. Stop preparing all your scripts. Well, don't stop them entirely, but don't over-prepare. Start preparing your state more. Ground yourself and watch how the world starts to listen. Now, if you're ready to build on any of this and you'd like to explore some of the other myths, then you might want to watch some of my other videos here on the website. Thanks for watching.